There once was a minister to a great king. He fell into disgrace, and the king, as a punishment, ordered him to be shut up at the top of a way high tower. This was done, and the minister was left there to perish. He had a faithful wife, however, and at night she came to the tower and called to her husband at the top to know what she could do to help him. He told her to return to the tower the following night and bring with her a long rope, a stout twine, a packed thread, a silken thread, a beetle, and a little honey. Wondering much, the good wife obeyed her husband and brought him the desired articles. The husband directed her to attach the silken thread firmly to the beetle, then to smear his horns with a drop of honey and set him free on the wall of the tower. With his head pointing up, she obeyed all these instructions, and the beetle started on his long journey. Smelling the honey before him, he slowly crept onwards and upwards in the hope of reaching it, until at last he reaches the top of the tower. When the minister grasped the beetle and got possession of the silken thread, he told his wife to tie the other end to the packed thread, and after he had drawn up the packed thread, he repeated the procedure with the stout twine and lastly with the rope. Then the rest was easy. The minister descended from the tower by means of the rope and made his escape. In this body of ours, the breath motion is the silken thread, and laying hold of that and learning to control it, we grasp the packed thread of the nerve currents, and from these the stout twine of our thoughts, and lastly the rope of prana, controlling which we reach freedom. We do not know anything about our own bodies. We cannot know. At best, we can take a dead body and cut it in pieces, and there are some who can take a live animal and cut it in pieces in order to see what is inside the body. Still, that has nothing to do with our own bodies. We know very little about them. Why do we know it? Because our attention is not discriminating enough to catch the very fine movements that are going on within. Or we can know of these only as the mind, as it were, enters the body and becomes more subtle. To get that subtle perception, we have to begin with the grosser perception. So we have to get hold of that which is setting the whole engine in motion. And that is the prana, the most obvious manifestation of which is the breath. Then, along with the breath, we will slowly enter the body, and that will enable us to find out about the subtle forces, how the nerve currents are moving all over the body. And as soon as we perceive that and learn to feel them, we shall begin to get control over them and over the body. The mind is also set in motion by these nerve currents. So, at last, we shall reach this state when we have perfect control over the body and mind, making both our servants. Knowledge is power, and we have to get this power. So, we must begin at the beginning the pranayama, restraining the prana. This pranayama is a long subject and will take several lessons to illustrate it thoroughly. We will take it part by part. We shall gradually see what are the reasons for each exercise and what forces in the body are set in motion. All these things will come to us, but it requires constant practice, and the proof will come by practice. No amount of reasoning which I can give you will be proof to you until you have demonstrated it for yourselves. As soon as you begin to feel these currents in motion all over you, doubts will vanish, but it requires hard practice every day. You must practice at least twice every day, and the best time are towards the morning and the evening. When night passes into day and day into night, it has to pass through a state of relative calmness. The early morning and the early evening are the 2 points of calmness. Your body will have a like tendency to become calm at those times, We will take advantage of that natural condition and begin then to practice. Make it a rule not to eat until you have practiced. If you do this, the sheer force of hunger will break your laziness. In India, they teach children never to eat until they have practiced and worshipped, and it becomes natural to them after a while. A boy will not feel hungry until he has bathed and practiced.